I'm on the left bank Stairway to Heaven, and this is so much more than you're expecting. Today we're going to do the Stairway to Heaven left bank. It's 1 hour 45 from Dubai, and it's 45 minutes from the Ras Al Khaimah Corniche. Let's go. Two places you can park for the Stairway to Heaven hike. You can park in the Wadi Galadir Dam, or you can park further up at the start of the Stairway to Heaven hike, which is about another 5 kilometers up this gravel track if your car goes up there. The majority of cars will easily get up this gravel track. There's a truck coming up the gravel path. I'm going to see if I can jump on it to the start point. These gentlemen picked me up. Hazrat. Mohammed and Hazrat. I'm incredibly thankful for the lift. Now I'm up towards the real start point. This is the car park and the start point at the top of the gravel track. It can be a bit confusing whether you go left or right. Follow the main gravel track this way. This is where you'll find the start point where these steps are, and then you'll see the brown post. This is your start point onto the trail, and then the trail's clearly marked. I'm back on the same track now as what leads to the right bank. I can't see any tracks on the ravine on the left, so I believe the split must be further on, although it looks obvious at that point. It's just a slight variation of the right bank, but the right bank's more obvious. I'm hoping now to find the left split, but I don't see it anywhere in this valley on the left, so it must be further on. My eyes have never been looking left so much before. I've reached the first rest point. I thought the left split would have been much sooner, but I keep looking to the left. I did see a goat farmer on the other side, but I also don't see any obvious paths routing left into the mountains. So it's a bit confusing at this stage, but we will find it. We will. Still looking left behind me and thinking, how could the left split be up there? It is so steep. I can now see the Stairway to Heaven left bank behind me. So when we were in the gully, I'm pretty sure it shoots up there. And the reason why I say that is I've just been able to pick up some signal, and it's showing me it's somewhere up there. And that looks like an insane climb. I think I'm going to reach out to one of my friends and do this with them. This seems a little bit crazy, but I've still got a bit of time. It's 9:30 a.m. I'm going to see if I can go and pick up this left bank. By the way, this is what the right bank looks like coming down on your legs. You'll be pleased to know I've also been able to download an offline map as well, which should help me on the way up. But more than anything, I just want to try and figure out this left bank. I am now staring at the left bank, sitting on a bench about a quarter of the way up the right bank trail. And if you are doing the right bank, you don't have to go all the way to the top of the mountain. You know, you can enjoy yourself in nature by just going a quarter of the way, enjoying yourself here, going halfway. There's lovely rest points all the way up the right bank. There's an amazing trail. Now I am staring at the left bank. That is serious. Literally looking at a wall. So I'm going to take real caution with this. I think you really should be doing this with someone. I'm looking at something pretty insane, if I'm being honest with you. But I really want to figure out the start of it. If I find it's okay, I'll continue. I imagine I'm not going to be able to have the phone out much on this, so I'll try and get the phone out when I can. If at any point I don't feel like I can return, I'm not going to continue. Now I see it. I see how serious it is. So the start point is at the top of the gully. So when you get about another 200 meters past the first rest point, this is where your start point is. I'm going to try to figure out a way up here. I think a lot of this has actually been blown out by the storm we had here in the UAE about a year or two ago. But I imagine the actual trail has coped well because it's so steep, the water would have just came off. But I think the start point is quite blown out. Can you imagine when the water is rushing down here? Just had my first reminder of how hard it is to get down in comparison to going up. Even just to there, I found I can't get up that way. I'm thinking I might be able to go up that way and around, but I'm also going to check down here. I have found the route to the left bank. There's little way markers which someone's placed on the rocks, which is perfect. It is straight up the left bank here. It's going to be the only route you can really find up. Perfectly show you where to get onto the left bank. You have the first rest huts over there, and then you have the gully here. The right bank Stairway to Heaven is here. Left bank Stairway Heaven is here. Traditional UAE hospitality. They have left way markers all the way up in the start, which is great. Do not underestimate this. I am taking severe caution with this. I shouldn't be doing this by myself. I realize that, and I know that any difficulties I feel like I'm in, I will just turn back. But this is it. This is nothing like the right bank. I want to see how far I can get. This is insane. It is incredible. It really, really is. Right bank, left bank. Sun's beating down hard on me. I'm not going to do this today. I now know where the start point is. I've had a nice morning out hiking. I'm going to get back to business in the city. And if anyone fancies doing this with me, hit me up. Make sure you're comfortable on camera. I can't help it. I'm going to have to do it. Come on, let's do it. I've got the visibility is going to be low tonight. However, I've just got to do it. I've just had a sign to do it. I need to do it. I've just had one of the scariest moments in my life. Do not lose these way markers. I think there's only 1 or 2 ways up this, and I just got myself into a hairy situation. Stick on the way markers. If you lose them, do not continue. Find those way markers. That will not be an open casket funeral. That'll be a mess. Okay, I found my first rest point. I'm going to have a trek bar. No turning back at this point. I'm not going to lie. This is daunting. This looks like a maze. You definitely need to pick the right path on this. Right now I'm a little confused because my offline map is showing I'm off the beaten route. I've also lost the way markers, but I think my offline map's showing me wrong. I think I need to go back down and find these way markers. They were pretty spot on the way up. But I feel like the offline map's got a few little defects in it, because a couple of times it goes across in zigzags. And I also feel like it's not picking me up where I actually am. I explain to you where I think I'm going wrong. I think I need to go up here, whereas I've just started heading left and following way markers left. But I actually think I need to be traversing up there. I get to the top of the chute and then it splits and you see the mountain face. You need to head right at the top of the chute. I'm starting to see little way markers again. Yes, there's some stones built up over there, but they're not the way markers. Way markers are here, and then it looks like we go up onto this ledge. It's feeling stupid, this. I'm hoping this is very obvious once I am up there. Without these way markers, you wouldn't stand a chance up here. They're like little angels on the way to heaven. Get out, I'm on the right path. Stairway to heaven. Only just starting now when I'm this far up. I hope this is obvious through the maze up here. Okay, just appreciate this. Whatever you see on camera, it's 5 times worse. This is madness. Starting to cramp up in the legs pretty bad. Try to use your hands and core as much as you can all the way up to save your legs. I'm up to a bit of an iconic bit. You can see those steps there. That's like an iconic photo, but I have been hugging 2 cliffs, and I mean hugging cliffs. Do not underestimate this, I keep saying it. And another section like this is crazy. I'm having to take a rest right towards the top before hitting the next section, the last section. I hope. I just got incredibly bad cramp on a very narrow section. I think that's how some people could really become a cropper, is getting cramp. And because of the heat, you obviously do get, I think, more cramp maybe. I cannot believe I have done that. That is the most insane hike I have ever done by far. Completed the left bank Stairway to Heaven. That is absolutely insane. There's no other way of describing it. That hike is insane. I now have to traverse across this whole entire horseshoe to get round to the right bank Stairway to Heaven, which is directly behind me there, and then go down. This is going to be a long time. I could potentially end up sleeping on this mountain, and I'm not even joking. This is a big hike, but I have made up to have done the left bank Stairway to Heaven. That is nuts. How amazing this farmland is on top of the mountain. This is still a big hike for me to go though. I best get going. My legs are cooked. To follow the map, it just looks like I need to get up this any way I can and then get onto the horseshoe. But I would go the easiest way, and then I found the goat track somehow. To put this into perspective, that is the left bank Stairway to Heaven. That huge slab, I have no idea how I've managed to go up that, but I do understand why I've been hugging a cliff for the last 4 hours. The peak was so much higher than it looked down there. it just kept going. Every time I thought I reached the top, it kept going, kept going. I've finally reached the horseshoe. If you're interested in the boots that I'm using, these are the Adidas Terex. They have insane grip on the bottom. They have been brilliant boots. I wasn't quite sure whether it was called the Stairway to Heaven because it was going to be like heaven at the top, or whether because that stairway sends people to heaven. I actually shouldn't laugh and joke about that because unfortunately, I think a few people have lost their lives on there, and honestly, I truly understand how they have, which is incredibly unfortunate and incredibly sad. Earlier on when I was going up the left bank and I said there must only be a few ways up the left bank, I now realise there's only one way up that left bank. So if you are doing this, and I highly recommend getting a guide, even if you are a very good experienced mountaineer, still have a guide. Because if you lose those waypoints, if you panic and lose those waypoints, I genuinely don't know how you're going to get out of that situation up there. And the fear sets in when those waypoints go. But there is only one way, there's no doubt about it. So you have to follow those waypoints. Horseshoe is massive. I have to go all the way up here. I thought I could just cut straight across. I need to get to here. I have about 1 hour of sunlight left. I don't have a head torch. Very, very silly of me. But we will do it anyway. The light is perfect now. It really is zero visibility. So I'm going to gather what I can tonight. Sleep here. There's an old abandoned house with materials there. I'll try and make some kind of shelter. I've got two things I'm worried about. One, which is obviously spiders. And then secondly, the cold. So I'm going to try to kind of find some insulation, which weirdly God has provided everything for. So I just need to make the base. 6 p.m. now. This might be one of the best night sleeps I ever have. So this is the little hut that I made to get me through the night with some materials I found from an old derelict house, which is completely stripped apart. And then the ants thought they'd crash my party as I was getting warm. They figured out that I had Trek bars in my bag, and I woke up to all these lovely guys on me. This has been the coldest night I've had to spend, but I got through it. I've got about another 30 minutes of sleep to go, and then I can shoot off. Let's get out of here. That's the result of the second hut. Super lucky, as it was going dark, I stumbled on this place. Look at this state of me. Thankfully, I have 2 Trek bars left. I've just climbed to the top of the horseshoe thinking I will go round, and then realising it's difficult to navigate up here. So I think I'm going to have to go all the way back down. I've probably walked about 3 kilometres up at the absolute highest point. But I'm going to have to go back down and follow it into that ravine. I think that's going to be the only way. Trying to get over to the right ravine over there. Looks challenging. Back down I go. My face is so dirty, I look like a coal miner. I cannot wait for that shower. The reason why I didn't carry on last night was on the map, it actually marks drop in this area. And I thought to myself, for me to spend the night a little bit cold, uncomfortable, it's worth it. Rather than me actually seeing heaven. It's nice to be on heaven on earth rather than heaven above if I walk off a drop. And knowing how insane the left bank Stairway to Heaven is, I thought if they have marked that as a drop, that's something significant. I can always find meaning behind everything, and recently I've been complaining about the place that I'm living. I don't enjoy living in this particular place, but this has just made me appreciate it massively. I can control the temperature how I like, I have access to electricity, I have a nice comfortable bed every night. So there's meaning behind everything. Maybe that's why I had to stay there last night. I don't know if that's a storm. I'm so happy I've managed to find my way into the ravine now. I can see an access point up to the other side, and then I am directly onto the right bank. Couldn't be happier. I am at the top of the right bank Stairway to Heaven in the rest hut. You can see the stairs here going down into the valley. The clouds do seem to be burning off, but we'll see what happens. If there's a little bit of rain, that'll be great. They were looking a little bit ominous earlier. And then you have the left bank over there. That wall is the left bank. So I feel like I'm on the home stretch now, which is incredible. The valley is looking amazing. Woo! A local taught me this trick and I'm so happy he did. He said, Ben, if you're ever running out of water, the way we do it is just take tiny little sips. Frequent but tiny little sips. Don't gulp it. Local knowledge, invaluable. Okay, it's time to head back down the Stairway to Heaven right bank. Slow and steady wins the race on this one. It's not an easy descent. It's quite hard on the legs, but I'm going to get back to the car. About halfway down the right bank now, and I'm pushed to the absolute limit. That is not easy on your legs. I've got an important meeting as well at 4:30 p.m. this evening. I'm 110% serious when I say this. Be careful when doing this. I am completely dehydrated. I knew there was a water thing here. There's no water in it. I think I could just about get back. I'm on my last legs. That is where the left bank starts and the right bank starts. Head back at the start. Be really careful when doing this. I managed to eke a little bit of water out of that. The water did not taste good, but I had no option. Probably got about 50 mils out. I've arrived into a farm in Wali Gadadir Dam. Walked up the village shouting Assalamu alaikum, Kaif halak. No one here, but there's a water tank here. This will be the best water I've ever had. I've tested it, it's on. I wanted to ask first before using it. Oh my God. Thank you very much, Wali Gadadir. I hope I'm pronouncing your village correctly. One last stretch down the road towards the dam car park.